Hi guys, we have to do a voiceover today because I forgot to turn the microphone on. So we're going to let it play here just for a minute because I have to tell you guys this is a fantastic collaboration with Whitney at J&W Soaps. I'm very excited to do this. This is my second favorite soap cake to make. Whitney and I had decided, because it is a Valentine's Day collaboration, that we were going to use some kind of chocolate scented fragrance. So this happens to be called Erotic City, and it is scented in chocolate covered strawberry. This is my ISIS recipe. So in the lye water, there is a 50-50 mixture of distilled water and aloe vera juice and my regular salt and sugar and, of course, sodium hydroxide. And as always, I will get this to just before emulsification, before we add our yogurt. If I'll stop scraping the bowl, that would be fantastic. I'm very excited to be doing another collaboration with Whitney. If you remember, we did a 4th of July collaboration back in the summertime, and that was so much fun. Here comes my organic Greek yogurt going in. And again, if I'll stop scraping the bowl, we can move on. I am such a scraper, you guys. It's terrible. All right, so let's get this mixed in, and we'll go over the colors. It's an easy color. So this is our brown, and it's chocolate mocha brown by Crafter's Choice. I'll be using titanium dioxide, and in the main batch, I will be making my favorite way to make red, with raspberry red mica, crimson mica, and activated charcoal. So I'm just separating off for my accent colors here. No big deal. You know, I hate using this bowl with soaps with, doing it by myself. It's got such a rim on it. It's terrible. I need to find a new, bigger bowl, I think. Okay, so I think I show you how I do the colors, but I can't remember for the life of me. Oh, embeds. We have to make our embeds, guys. So the little chocolate bars, I'm sure you guys have seen these molds before. And I go ahead and I use my little eyedropper to fill these up because these are very, very shallow. And I make, I only need 12 because I get 12 slices of pie out of each pie, but I make a few extra because sometimes these snap in half. They're very fragile. So like I said, here's our red with the raspberry red, the crimson, and the activated charcoal. And I will also be filling up molds with this color as well, because we need strawberries for our chocolate covered strawberry, right? Yes, we do. Yep, come on, put the color in. I should have edited this video a little bit more heavily, I think. But that's okay. We'll just hang out and watch me make soap. Why not? Don't you love how I keep my activated charcoal in an old pill bottle? Isn't that great? I really could find a jar for it, but whatever. Okay, so here's our red. I'm pouring off a little bit so I don't have to pour my strawberries from that big, huge bowl, which, basically I'm dirtying another cup for no reason. So here's our strawberries, and I need 12 of them again. Each of those molds holds 10, so I'll be doing 2 in the green mold. And then I pour the rest of that batter back into my bowl before I scent it. Oh, there we go. Getting a little exuberant there. Don't you hate it when you overfill a mold? I hate that. You know, you're just like, pour. Come on, let's get done with the strawberries here, Sulin. You guys get the picture. There we go. See? Ta-da! There's my fragrance going in. And I don't put it in the white because it definitely discolors. You see how dark that just turned my batter already? Yep. But I love the way the red looks after it has gone through saponification with the darkening of it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I definitely love the red that it turns out to be. And this does make my batter quite thick. The fragrance speeds up trace quite a bit. I find that chocolate fragrances do that, in my experience anyway. But and it doesn't help that this is my Isis recipe, which has, all the mango butter and the shea butter and whatnot in it. So I don't know what I'm doing there. Who knows? But I am going to do an in the pot swirl with this. There we go. I'm going to put all of our chocolate in there. And I won't scrape it to death. At least I don't think I will. Who knows? Oh, yep, didn't scrape it to death. Okay, and the white is already very thick at this point just because I, used too much titanium dioxide. I tend to do that. So we're going to get all of this in there. And I believe I run the spatula through there because the TD was so thick. I mean, it sat. I should have waited to actually mix the TD until I was done pouring the embeds for this soap. So come on, Sulin. Stop scraping it to death. I really scrape stuff to death, don't I? Okay, nice swirl in there. And we're going to get our mold. Yay. So that's my 9-inch cake pan. And make sure y'all can see it. And we get closer and closer. I always, when I do pies, I always keep them on my Lazy Susan. It's just habit, I guess. And fill that up to the top. There we go. And look at all that batter I have left for samples. Because I had no samples of this fragrance, like, at all. At all. So I definitely needed to I made like 6 ounces extra. So this is the next day. We have our pie. And as you can see, there's some soda ash on the top of that. I just can't even tell you what's going on in my soap room. I think my dehumidifier is on too high. So I'm going to have to check that. So, and I don't use my big, my husband's zombie apocalypse machete to cut this one. I use my regular butcher knife because I don't have like all the piping and embeds and all that stuff on the top. I like to mark it right in the middle. And then I'll go ahead and I'll cut halfway through and then I'll turn it around and cut halfway through on the other side. Pull that baby out and turn it around and just start right there and bring it down. There we go. Yep, there we go. Didn't mess it up too bad. Sometimes you get little bits and pieces missing, but I do plane my pies, so those little edges won't matter too much. And I believe that I only show you 1/4 of me cutting this pie, because if you've seen the Just Can't Get Enough pie video, I showed you how I cut all of those. So, but I'll explain it as it's being shown. So first I cut each half in half. You know, and none of these pieces are going to be the same size for the sole fact that, you know, I'm eyeballing things. I'm not quite measuring them. So, and then here we go. I take that corner, and with that triangle, I make sure to set it right in that divot of my cutter. And I'll pull down before I cut. I look at it from above to make sure it's going to be a third. So then that way we have a nice point on our pie with every slice. And then I will line that up exactly in half and then cut that. And that's how I do all of my pie pieces. As you can see, that piece is quite in that divot there, or the whatever it's called, the notch in my cutter. I think that's the word. Yeah, so all right, now we're upstairs and we are going to make the frosting. And I have to tell you that this is literally 2 weeks after I made the pie. I had my surgery back then. And again, this is my ISIS recipe. What I did with the soap is I had left it just the way it was. I didn't plane it or anything like that. So right before I mixed this frosting, I went ahead and I planed everything on the soap. You're going to see that they're completely flat on the top. There's no soda ash or anything like that. And also to make sure that my piping sticks, you're going to see that there is grooves in the top. I used a skewer to make sure that the new soap and the old soap would stick together. So this is just 12 ounces of soap for the piping, which isn't a lot of soap. And I pour off a little bit because I need a little bit of green, because I actually will be putting leaves on my strawberries. And then I split this in half, well, almost in half. It's as, you know, eyeballed in half as possible. And of course, that's not half. And that's not half. I was like, get it together, Sulin. What is wrong with you? So I work on the brown first, because that's the first color that I'm going to use. This, I think I worked on the brown first. It's been a while since I edited this video. It's been sitting in my editing program for me to do the voiceover for a while. So, well, if I'm using my frother, I'm sure I did the white first. Oh, maybe look, I didn't. Oh, what? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Oh, yeah, of course. I mixed my white first because, well, you know, that's for whipped cream on top of the pie. So with this brown, I do put fragrance in it, as you're going to see right now. And the reason I put fragrance in it is because ordinarily, like little piping like this, I just don't fragrance. But with this pie in particular, with what I am doing with this brown, it needs to have that fragrance. Plus, it needs to be pretty thick in order for it to work the way that I want it to. Which again, the fragrance does accelerate, so that's not a problem. All right, it's mixed in. That's mixed in too. Okay, so here's the pies, and you can see the little marks that I made, the squigglies that I made on them. So what I do is I take a spoon and I scoop, take my spatula out of there. Yep, get it out of there. We don't need that. I'm going to take a spoon, and on each pie slice, I am putting the chocolate, well, the brown soap. It's to represent chocolate on the pie. I make sure it drips down the back and the sides. And at this point, um, it doesn't look like it's dripping very well because it's thick. But what I do is, see, I'm scooting it off the back and scooting it off the sides. So when I'm done doing this to all 12 slices, I pound the cookie sheet on the counter. And you're going to see all of that flatten out and pour down the sides and the back of the pie slices. It'll just take me a second. I think I only do a few. I edited, quite a bit of it out. I wanted you to see exactly what I was doing, though. So I just sort of scoot it so when I pound it, it's going to come down off of there. Yep. I love this pie. This pie is, see, now it's more flat, how it's all dripping down. And at the end, I show you a better view. So now I have my whipped cream. Well, my white soap that represents whipped cream. And I do all 12. Dun, da, da, da. And I sort of do it the way I would a cupcake. Just, smaller swirls up, It's kind of funny. My sleeve was so close to those soaps. I was like, oh, am I going to get that in there? So I take my strawberries and my chocolate that I made. And I used to dip my strawberries in the chocolate colored soap and then put them on there. But it's really messy. And I was getting that brown soap because I had to wear gloves in order to do that. I would get the brown soap everywhere and it was a mess. So I stopped doing it. But those pies, though, because that was the first time I made it, I actually dipped my strawberries in chocolate, But like I said, I don't do that anymore. It's too messy. It's really a pain in the butt. So I don't think I show you all of the strawberries and little chocolate bars. Oh, see, now I'm doing the leaves. Yeah, I skipped ahead. So I just put, it's my Wilton 350 tip, and that strawberry mold has like indentations for 3 leaves. And I go ahead and I add my own green leaves. And I add the green leaves so we have a pop of color, because red and green are opposite on the wheel, that they look so good together. I kept having to turn my tray so I could get a good angle to do these leaves. They were like sticking up. It was so funny. I was cracking up while I was making these. I really wish I wouldn't have forgotten to turn the microphone on for 2 parts of it. Otherwise, I would have left it all in. And towards the end here, I'm going to take you to the other counter and show you a bird's eye view, level with the counter to show you how awesome they are. I love making this pie. It is just so much fun. See all the chocolate dripping down there. Sorry about the shadow, but I just love it. I think it's so beautiful. And like I said, it's a blast to make. So don't forget, I'm going to leave a link for Whitney's video in my description box below. And I'm also going to leave a link to the audio to the song in case you haven't heard it. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.